Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hello and welcome back to the Osu World Cup 2023. Once again, in our round of 32 weekend, we have had some banger matches come through on the A stream and the B stream respectively. Some insane upsets and some really exciting matches I'm sure some of us are happy to have seen. But this match is going to be another one of those matches that I could not be more excited to see. Hong Kong up against Finland. I'm Sad Shiba, and I'm joined by the fantastic Miles in this commentary. What's up, Miles?
Good morning, Shiba, and I agree with you. I think this one has the potential to maybe even go the distance. We've got seed 13 in Hong Kong up against seed 20 in Finland, and I'm sure a lot of people were surprised to see Hong Kong seeded down at 13 this year, but obviously they're missing one of their star players in Suwagi, and we're going to see if this Finland team has what it takes to pull off an upset in this one.
I think what's really exciting about this matchup is that with that loss of Suwagi, Hong Kong have a lot less of that full-on star power core. You still have MCY4 and Xion and A21 occasionally, but with that triple core kind of gone, Hong Kong have a lot more vulnerability and a lot less security in this match. And with Finland having one of the best rosters they have this year, a great hybrid of mechanics and reading on this team, I'm really excited to see what this team can do. They both have some quite respective strengths. In particular, Hong Kong looking a lot more dominant on the control overall. Having MCY4 and Xion doesn't surprise me at all in that regard. But Finland have really good duality here with the really strong aim and mechanics players here, especially players like Amacetic and Freezed. And then having a really strong reading duo in Canalu and Alid. This is going to be an exciting match where I think two really good polarizing skill sets are going to make the first start of this match really close. And maybe towards the late stage, we can get some upsetting or unique win outcomes that maybe neither of us would have expected.
Yeah, I think Hong Kong, they're going to stick to their skill sets that they've really liked in years past. Hong Kong, a really good aim team, a really good tech team. I expect them to pick both of those in this matchup against Finland. Maps like that, Nomad 1, Hidden 2, Nomad 4 probably going to be really good picks for Hong Kong. And then meanwhile for Finland, I think they're going to really like the DT pool and maybe some free mods in this matchup. But we're going to have to wait and see where...
Yeah, indeed. We are going to have to wait and see. Looking at the picks and bans so far. All right, Miles, I got you.
Thanks.
Getting a little bit of time here to do our picks and bans. It seems like Hong Kong have chosen to go for the second ban here. And we are looking... and are waiting for our first ban here. What are your thoughts on this, Miles? I'm suspecting maybe a normal 3 or normal 4 ban here for Finland.
Yeah, thoughts? That sounds about right. I think a Nomad 3 ban from Finland here would be expected. That kind of aim control reading alt styled map is something that Hong Kong is typically very, very strong at. But then on the side of Hong Kong, not exactly sure what they're going to ban against Finland. They might ban one of the DT maps, such as like a DT2. It looks like Finland's going to be going for a Hidden 1 ban, so banning out that Flow AR8 Hidden. I think this ban also... this ban makes sense. Hong Kong a really good reading roster, and Finland may be lacking so in the Hidden department. Like, they have good reading players, but I think just not on Flow Aim Hidden.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I was expecting on paper for Finland to at least leave it open.
What is this ban?
For Hong Kong, banning the free mod 2, the anti-mod map with... high CS, low AR, reading and precision hybrid here. A bit of a strange ban. I was very much expecting Hong Kong to go for the tapping mechanics here, the double time 2, the no mod 2. Expecting one of those to be banned, especially when you have players like Amacetic around, who is an absolute freak on stuff like this. Really surprised to not see it. These are some weird bans in my eyes, Miles. I'm really surprised to still see the Hidden 1 ban. Yes, it is flow reading, but surely there would have been better options here, wouldn't you say?
I guess so, but Nomad 4 going to be the first pick coming out from Hong Kong. But, you know, I think I know why Hong Kong didn't ban DT. I think the answer to that is in the qualifier results. Hong Kong, I think, surprising a lot of people on the tapping mechanics in qualifiers, to where on paper you would think that they might fear a skill set like that against Finland, but in reality it's something that Hong Kong might feel really comfortable on, especially in this round of 32 pool. But yep, here...
Yep. Nomad 4 is going to be the next pick here for Hong Kong. A pretty cool tech pick, rolling beat, Osu PH collab expert. One of those maps that you can kind of see going quite easily towards the start, but towards its later stages, especially towards the bridges and the TIs, the difficulty ramps up quite a bit. There's a particular bridge towards the final Ki, which is extremely difficult. Much more slider heavy, much more kind of difficult to ramp up, much faster. And Hong Kong having a phenomenal tech roster overall. Honestly, I'm not surprised with this first pick here. A very good entry pick. And as you mentioned before, Miles, yes, you are right. Hong Kong have done decently well in the qualifiers here. Players like Zumari, F2X, and MCY, surprisingly, actually performing very, very well here. You don't really see MCY as one of those players who could do really well on the type of mechanics, but yeah, no, you may be right. They did perform really well in the qualifiers, and considering the fact that this is very early stage, very low SR pools, there's a good chance for Hong Kong to win in those maps that you would expect on paper Finland to do much better on.
And on a map like Nomad 4, I think Hong Kong is going to be able to bring out their big four, which you see in the lobby. It's Xion, MCY4, Hibiki, and A21. I would say arguably their hardest hitters on the roster. So if you're able to have all four of them in for a map, I think it's going to be a very good pick for them. But meanwhile, on the side of Finland, we see Zeppe, Kalanlu, and Desku, and Amasetic to take the 4th spot for Finland. So I think another strong roster for them as well. Should be able to contest on this pick, but obviously Hong Kong's first pick, you can only expect it to go one way.
Yeah, Hong Kong have a freakishly demon tech roster here. Generally one of the best control teams in the tournament right now. And having players like Shin on MCY4 and A21 are absolutely no slouches. The new golden trinity of this Hong Kong team. And with Hibiki coming in as well as a 4th, no slouch at all. One of the better performing tech players for Hong Kong in the qualifiers. So this is a great entry roster here for Hong Kong and a very good first pick. You can't still fault Finland, though. They do have some good, solid tech players here. Zeppe, Amasetic, Desku, and Kalanlu, all very capable of getting a very high score here, especially in Amasetic, who got the highest score on the team in the qualifiers. So I'm looking out for this team, looking forward to seeing what they can do.
We've been seeing a lot of FCs on this map so far this weekend, though, so probably going to be able to expect some FCs to come out of Finland on this one because, you know, it's a round of 32 pool. We expect to see FCs in this round, I hope.
Yeah, true, but this map does have a few sessions that could end up going to a trip up, maybe a potential choke on one of these respective players. We have seen it previously in the past, despite this map being kind of known to be a lot easier. It's very conventional flow tech with a good set of space streams, and the first drop is going to come for Finland. Desku's going to drop and followed by Kalanlu. So far going into this first Ki, there's still quite a bit to go, but Hong Kong's looking very, very strong. Phenomenal accuracy respectively here. No score under 99 accuracy. And it's just Zeppe and Amasetic to try and hold on, but a double break from Hong Kong is going to even out the combo game now. It's looking very even, but the accuracy is going to really gain. But as that drop from Amasetic comes through, it's all up to Zeppe past this first Ki, the only Finnish soldier to hold on through this first Ki.
That was an unexpected break from MCY and A21, both breaking on the same note, but the trade coming out from Amasetic and Kalanlu going to keep Hong Kong in the lead here. Only Zeppe remaining in this little bridge section. Oh, Desku finding a drop there. That is not what you want to see for Finland. Xion and Hibiki, though, going to look to run into that last quarter of the map, still holding on to the double FC. Oh, but Hibiki finding a break as well, so it's only one FC on either side. With a tied re-established combo of MCY and A21 and Amasetic and Kalanlu, the combos are just barely in favor of Finland right now. So if Xion finds the break, it could go back in favor of Finland at the ending.
I think what makes this really difficult here for Finland is that the accuracy advantage for Hong Kong is so far ahead. You've got several really high acts, but granted though, you still have Kalanlu and Zeppe with the high act, but multiple drops here, especially from Desku and Kalanlu, are going to keep holding on. But hold on, Xion's gone down. It's all up to Zeppe now with the only FC left, but is there going to be enough time? I don't think so. There's barely enough of the map left, and despite such a valiant effort from Zeppe, beautiful FC from him, Hong Kong take map number 1.
There was just not enough time for Zeppe to come back with the only big combo in the lobby. Xion had dropped that FC way too late, but at the end of the day, it is a much higher average team score for Hong Kong to give them their first pick. And now the pick goes back to Finland. Now, I'm kind of curious for what they go for here because Hong Kong, pretty good on tapping still. But I think in terms of just like a skill set that they can put a full roster on, I think they still do go for the tapping. Something like that DT2 or DT1. I think would be really good picks for Finland.
Yeah, I have to agree. There is also a good room for Finland to maybe lean into the aim, but that is a tough pick to go for, considering how strong Hong Kong are on aim, especially players like A21 and MCY around. But still, if you were to look at one of Finland's core strengths, I would say going into either the mechanics, such as DT, Nomad 2, or maybe Nomad 1. Those are the picks that I'm looking out for here for Finland. Maybe the Hidden 1, but that's a risky one. So they still have options. That's the point here. Hidden 2 is still open, and several maps are still possible here for Finland. Their next pick is going to determine how comfortable this team is going to look. With that decent close call there from Finland on the first map, safe to say they still have something in this. Freemod 1 is going to be the next pick for Finland. Crazy levels of Flame consistency. It's pretty much Flame streams and a few jumps here and there. A little bit of spin control on top of that, but very consistent. Your combo game towards the late stage is going to really matter in this map.
Gonna be invoking that free mod strength that I was talking about earlier. I think Finland has a really good mod coverage on their roster. You can see with players like Shadoo's probably going to take the Hard Rock, Colin probably going to take the Hidden, both in the lobby. Emesetic to be that consistent rock on their roster with Zeppe coming in as well. Zeppe actually probably could take the Hard Rock as well. Meanwhile, side of Hong Kong going to be bringing in another extremely hard-hitting player in F2X to take over for Hibiki on this map. Oh, but see more players leaving the lobby. I should probably wait until the lobbies or the rosters are locked before mentioning them, but MCY going to step in with Xion and A21 as well. So another very scary looking roster coming out from Hong Kong on this map.
Yeah, once again, the Holy Trinity for Hong Kong. Probably going to be in the majority of the maps here. And F2X coming in is no slouch. Always been known to be very spectacular on maps like Nomad 2. One of his most well-known strengths here is that flow aim. He's showed it in several other tournaments, representing Hong Kong and his own respective teams in other open rank tournaments. So F2X is very capable on this. Probably one of the players to look out for here on this Freemod 1. And check in the mods here. Hidden Hard Rock for F2X. A bit of an overmod here for Hong Kong. Double Hidden from Xion and A21. And no mod here for MCY. On the other side, you've got Finland, Zeppe on the Hard Rock, and Kanalu on the Hidden. Decently safe picks here for Finland. Hong Kong going a bit bold here with the double Hidden.
This map on the longer side, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. There's a lot of time for you to find a break on any random pattern, where I think in practice, all of these players probably found FCs on this map, but in the match, it is much harder to convert. You see the angles on these streams. They aren't as typical as you usually see in a stream map in a tournament. So lots of opportunity to find a break, but so far, all the players looking good out of the first 350 combo.
Yeah, these stream sessions look a lot more difficult, especially on the Hard Rock. You already saw a few awkward cuts and hack drops here from F2X and Zeppe. It's not a comfortable situation here for these two Hard Rock players. They've got to maintain the combo for as much as they can because they've got the biggest job here, especially in F2X, with a ginormous set of mods that could really benefit Hong Kong in the late game as long as they've got the combo straight. But going into this first little Ki section here, ramp up difficulty here, a few doubles here and there. Kalalu's going to be the first to drop for Finland. Is it going to be traded at all here from Hong Kong? Doesn't seem like it. Everyone's looking decently comfortable. F2X with a few act drops here and there, but nothing too major. Hong Kong looking really consistent here. The only drop in this entire Ki is Kanalu. The rest of Finland still hold strong.
Yeah, and you can really see that mod advantage start to take over now that Kalanlu has dropped. Oh, but Xion finally trading it out, so both hidden players have dropped. It's now A21, F2X, and MCY to hold the 3 full combos for Hong Kong, but now in terms of combo, Finland does have a lead, but it's not really going to go over that quickly because, as I was mentioning before that break, the mod advantage for Hong Kong is real, having that hidden Hard Rock, who does actually find the break. So now Finland's going to look to be able to very quickly take the lead on this pick, now still with 3 FCs to 2.
F2X. Oh, go on, sorry.
On a map that's this long, they're going to be able to get some lead. Kalanlu finds another break, but it doesn't matter because he already dropped. But Emesetic going to trade it out. A no mod dropping on this. That is absolutely massive for Hong Kong.
Yeah, as a normal player, you're expecting real perfection here. The normal player often is given to the most consistent player of the bunch, the one who can secure the biggest combo. The most explosive ones are given the job of the hardest mods here, and F2X earlier on missing on that curved stream, but it's going to be traded thankfully here for Hong Kong. Emesetic had dropped as well. Kalalu dropped once again, but Xion drops again on that stream here. MCY4 and 18-1, the only ones to hold on to any big combo, and Finland are going to start establishing a lead now. The recoveries from both Emesetic and Kalalu are going to slowly start giving them that advantage. Zeppe and Shadoo's The Hard Rock and the Nomad player still looking good. Zeppe massively outperforming in the Hard Rock department, not only holding the FC, but nearly 99 accuracy. Really solid here, but we've still got more streams to go. Final core of the map here. The streams are starting to ramp up in spacing, but no players are seeming to majorly struggle so far, but I'm sure the drops are still yet to come.
They get through that space stream, man. Zeppe looks so comfortable on this with the Hard Rock. Almost 99% accuracy. He is just beasting through these streams right now. And Amasthetic and Kalinlu's reestablished combos gonna look to bring Finland into the end, but they are not nearly out of the woods. They need to hold their combos because Hong Kong is breathing down their neck with MCY and A21's full combo still alive. And F2X on the reestablished combo as well. Xi'an's combo mattered the least there. He had broken earliest before for them. And now into that space stream, F2X finds a drop and everyone on Finland holds. They're gonna look to maybe get out of the woods on this one. Just maybe 30 seconds of map left, not even. Just a few streams to go. Shadooz breaks!
Shadooz is gone. You can see it's starting to slowly shrink in favor of Hong Kong, but I don't think there's enough time. Zeppe, all you gotta do is hold on to the very end. Can you secure with an FC in the finger control section? You got it! Shadooz drops again, but that's not gonna be enough. Finland, seemingly by the skin of their teeth, especially after that drop from Shadooz, managed to take it. Phenomenal score from Zeppe. And with 2 FCs from MCY and MCY4, also very impressive, but you have to give props to Zeppe there. Phenomenal Hard Rock score, completely blowing F2X out of the water on the Hard Rock.
You always love to see the Hard Rock score take the star performance on a team, and Zeppe just putting the team on his back there, holding the only FC until the end. Shadooz holding it almost till the end, but at the end of the day, that Hard Rock probably going to be the biggest difference between Finland and Hong Kong on that pick. And now pick goes back to Hong Kong.
It's up to Hong Kong now to establish the lead once again in the points here. They've still got some good maps. They could go for the number 3. But maybe a Hard Rock, possibly? I'm kind of thinking that maybe they want to go for Hard Rock 2 or Hard Rock 1. They've got some good control Hard Rock players here. This Hard Rock 2 especially being a lot more techie flow control. But it is going to be the most predictable one, the one that we all expected. It is going to be number 3 pick next for Hong Kong. 2 of their most well-known skill set strengths are going to be immediately picked here. And I can't help but think this is just a very dominant on paper pick here for Hong Kong. Finland do have a couple prominent players who could do well on the ult, particularly Freezed I'm looking at here, who could do something good, assuming he gets in the lineup here. But outside of that, I'm definitely looking at Hong Kong to take this one.
Yeah, no, the reading ult, I think, is a skill set that Hong Kong just salivated when they saw this on the Map Pool Showcase, because this is just the type of thing where they would put up performances that probably are going to top the statistics sheet for all teams. Like, this is a team that is historically extremely good at ult across all rank ranges, across all tournaments. Always expect to see these Hong Kongers doing really well on ult. And this map is no exception.
Frederick Junkie, LSCZ 1 edition difficulty. A 3-minute and 21-second long custom map. Lots of control ult with a good hit of overlap reading during its key eyes, I think is a little bit of a little factor to take into account here. A few overlaps that could lead to a few drops here and there. But it's going to be really those major guitar solo sections that I'm expecting to maybe see a drop from Hong Kong. Outside of that, they're going to be looking very consistent. Most of the time, it's just going to be your typical hybrid ult. Maybe a little bit of snappiness towards the later stage of the map, a little bit of a difficulty ramp up, but outside of that, it's relatively consistent throughout the majority of it. And I think it was expressed a lot by the map pullers before. This is a very fun map as well. One of the more popular ones amongst our OWC players this week. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Finland have to offer against a ult titan that is Hong Kong. But here we go.
In terms of sections I would watch out for on this map, it would definitely have to be the start of the guitar solo, where there is this absolutely gnarly back and forth pattern that in playtesting I really thought it was too hard, but playtesters thought otherwise, so ended up staying in the map, and now it's a very hype, I think, choke point on the map. Although I haven't been seeing too many people break on it, so I might be eating my own words on it depending on how these players do on it.
Yeah, no, nothing too crazy so far. Just an early drop from Zeppe towards the start. Probably just getting rid of some early stage jitters, early stage nerves, I don't know, something like that. But we're going into the first Ki here. You can kind of see what we're talking about. A good hybrid of snap and flow, a few slider jumps here and there, but this is not really too crazy for our players here. That early rip from Zeppe is all that we're seeing right now. But the accuracy does lean in favor of Hong Kong on top of that. No major score. That's under 99, but 821 is going to be the first to drop for Hong Kong. Combo advantage now in the favor of Finland. And you can see that score gap starting to close in favor of Finland. But Alid is going to trade it before that flip comes to fruition. Hong Kong back to their advantage. Still phenomenal AC as well. The lowest AC being from Xion at 99.29. This team look extremely comfortable despite those drops from A21 now dropping to the lower stack. But still, really, really good start for Hong Kong outside of that A21 drop. It's just Amasthetic and Canaloo holding on to the FCs.
Hong Kong not necessarily out of the woods yet. At the halfway mark, they need to still hold their combos because if they drop here, they're going to get that dreaded score cap that you have when you miss it halfway. And but Amasthetic trades it. Hibiki and Amasthetic finding trades in the middle of the map, so that is going to keep this score lead at equilibrium here. It's Colin and Zeppe's reverse choke. Oh, but there goes Colin. So that's the full combo now gone for Finland. It is only Zeppe once again for them up against the mammoth full combos from MCY and Xion on the side of Hong Kong, and they're going to look to take this lead very, very quickly. But here comes the back and forth pattern. Who's going to break? It's Zeppe and Hibiki to trade that one out, but that's the biggest combo from Finland now gone, and Hong Kong is going to look to take a comfortable lead into the last quarter of this map.
Yeah, thankfully for Hong Kong, that dreaded wiggle pattern is not going to trip up MCY and Xion. The two big combos to look out for here for Hong Kong. And Zeppe, after those drops from Callow and Amasthetic, was the biggest combo for Finland. But that wiggle pattern, as you mentioned, is going to trip him up. Finland do not have any combos that they can contest with Hong Kong here for...
Oh, hello?
And MCY and Xion still holding on, I believe. Did he just have a disconnect there? A21 and Zeppe are going to drop again. Still trying to keep talking about the match despite the obvious elephant in the room, that is no Hibiki in the client. I still think Hong Kong still take it. Maybe the base score that Hibiki set before the end of the map is still going to be taken into account here. Canaloo drops once again. There just simply cannot be any big combo here for Finland. It's just Amasthetic trying to hold on, but it's not going to be enough. MCY4 and Xion perform a masterclass on this Alt Nomad 3 and secure Hong Kong the victory.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, even with Hibiki's disconnect, MCY, Xion, and A21 did just 3v4 that. So, no need to worry about any score calculation stuff because they actually 3v4'd that. So, yep, very definitive pick for Hong Kong. Now, pick going back to Finland, gonna see where they go from here. They picked that free mod consistency first, and there's not too much left of that in the pool. They've still got a Hard Rock 1, Nomad 1, and Hidden 2 left when it comes to aim, but I do still think this team is going to pick some DT at some point. Finland is too strong of a DT roster, I think, for them to not pick DT.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely expecting that. Finland have a phenomenal mechanics roster. Definitely going to be one of the things that I'm hoping to see from Finland here. Maybe they're just holding on to it, maybe playing a little bit of chicken with it. None of the DT maps have been picked. Fremod has been completely exhausted, and half of Nomad is out as well. The Nomad 2 is more of a speedy mechanics map with a little small aspect of tech, but overall it is going to be a much more on the tapping heavy stuff, so Finland could lean into that one. Still plenty of picks here. I'm curious to see what Finland can do. That Fremod 1 was a big risk and thankfully still rewarded from that phenomenal score from Zeppe. But I'm still unsure of what Finland are going to pick, more because they have a lot of options. But you have to think about that looming threat from Hong Kong. You already mentioned it before. We already talked about it. Hong Kong are more than formidable on this tapping, considering how well they did in the qualifiers. Even if Finland majorly outshined them here, this is very early stage to the degree where I don't think any kind of late game stamina is going to really matter for any of these players, even if Hong Kong are in the back foot in speed.
Of course. The way I like to say round of 32 goes is that you kind of just have to FC the maps. It's less, I think, about overall skill set strengths than you have in the later rounds, and it's more about just general consistency, because a lot of players are going to be well-rounded enough to be able to FC maps across skill sets, even if the skill set isn't necessarily their strength in round of 32. And we do see the DT2 pick coming out from Finland, so that DT stamina pick going to be coming out.
Unlimited R, maps by Dada. I'm sure you may have heard the story before, but if you haven't, let me tell you of it. This map was originally meant to be for Host World Cup 2022, round of 32, but due to some major skill set overlap with the DT1 at that time, it was delayed and pushed to this year. That is not 4 minutes long. That's a little shorter, I think just under 3 minutes long, but still decently consistent. It's about 225 BPM if I remember correctly. Still decently fast, but considering the quality of some of these players here, I'm not really assuming that this is going to be too difficult. I'm more looking at the finger control and maybe the late game stamina if they struggle with it. But having players like Zumari and Max Birio in for Hong Kong doesn't surprise me at all. F2X, of course, coming in here. MCY4 remaining the staple for Hong Kong. And on the side of Finland, no surprise from any of the players put on here. Freeze and Amacetic especially are the two stars of the mechanics show for Finland, but Nev and Zeppe as well, no joke. Going into this DT2, Finland's chance to even out the score once again.
I was going to mention Zumari and Max Birio, two of the newcomers for Hong Kong. I'm sure not a lot of people are very familiar with them. I know I wasn't before this tournament. Zumari going to be finding an early break, but these are two of the guys who did a lot of contributions towards Hong Kong getting some good scores on the tapping mechanics in qualifiers. So be sure to watch out for them on this pick. This F2X finds an early break as well, so just taking a little bit of a second to get acclimated to the DT2. Meanwhile, Finland still holding on to their four-way out of the beginning.
Yeah, you can kind of see the aspect of the finger control here that could lead to a few unique drops, a few longer streams on top of that, but finger control is where I'm expecting to see maybe a couple chokes here. Quite a few doubles and some bursts that could trip up a few people late stage with stamina, but overall, outside of that break from F2X, it doesn't seem like there are going to be any drops into this Ki here. Finland looking very solid, holding on to their FCs, but Nev is going to be the first to drop as soon as I say that. It's still 3-2 in the FC department here, but Zumari and F2X are recovering swift enough to accumulate a combo advantage. There's the break. Both teams know what's going on, and F2X is going to drop once again. Established back for Finland in the combo advantage here. They've got to hold on. There's still half of the map left to go. As I managed to find the correction here, 2 minutes and 36 seconds long. Decently lengthy for a DT2. Zumari is the next to drop. It's all up to MCY4 Max Birio, the only two FCs left for Hong Kong. But on the other side, you've got Finland with 3 phenomenal FCs. And that recovery from Nev. The lead is starting to slip away from Hong Kong. The chances are starting to slip away. Only about 150, 200,000 and climbing now. There's not much that Hong Kong can do. The two lower combos from Zumari and F2X are being completely shut off by Nev, who outshined them combined in the combo.
Yeah, looking so comfortable right now is Team Finland. At this rate, they could be getting a team score almost upwards of 4 million if they can hold on to these 3 FCs into the ending. Yeah, man, you love to see Freeze coming back and performing this well for Team Finland. Zumari finding another break, but Freeze is a player who historically has been that titan for Team Finland. Haven't been seeing him too much so far in this match, but now he is coming in on the DT2, holding that FC into the very ending, almost 99% AC, and Finland is putting in an absolutely astonishing team score on this. They are going to eclipse 4 million score at the end off the 3 very comfortable full combos from Zeppe, Amacetic, and Freeze, with Nev only finding that break in the middle. So that is a very good second pick for Finland.
Beautiful overall team score from Finland. Freeze, Amacetic, and Zeppe do not cease to impress on stuff like this. And Nev, despite that drop previously, still getting 700k is phenomenal, outshining both Zumari and F2X. A good attempt from MCY4 Max Birio, still having FCs with decent AC to boot. 99 for MCY and 98 for Max Birio. But simply Finland just completely outshine this. And honestly, who is surprised? This team have always been really good on these type of mechanics maps. Especially when you got players like Freeze coming back. As you mentioned, a titan for this Finnish team. And it's 2-2 now. Even scores once again. It's up to Hong Kong to go into their next pick. What are they going to lean into, Miles? What are your thoughts? The two conventional picks that we all know Hong Kong are going to win on have already been gone. Now's the thought of the more creative options. What do you think, Miles?
They're picking Nelv, I think. That Hard Rock 2, I think, is something that they could be extremely strong on. You have a little bit of a control element. You have a little bit of a tech element combined with the precision. I think that's something they might want to lean into. But at the same time, it could be a little bit risky. They have another alt map remaining as well in that Free Mod 3 if they want to go for that. And other than that, I think they could pick any of these aim maps if they want to. I think they're not going to. And they don't. They go for the Free Mod 3, the other alt map. Makes a lot of sense after winning that other alt map so convincingly. But this one's a little bit of a different feel. While the Nomad 3, I think, has a lot of control aim and a lot of reading element to it, this one is a lot more flow aim, and I think you're going to see a lot of a difference in how these teams play their mods on this one. I don't think Hong Kong is going to want to overmod this like they did on the Free Mod 1.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with that one. For me, I've got that this map has quite a few snap patterns on top of that. So this is overall quite mechanics heavy. 3 minutes and 14 seconds long as well, decently long, good enough to keep consistency to be a major factor here. Long-term sustained combo is going to be really valuable here. There aren't going to be as many drops, but quite a bit of 1/4 patterning as well. And with hidden slaps on top, this BPM is going to this kind of ult is going to actually make it quite dense if you're going to be rocking the hidden. I'm absolutely expecting Kalanlu to be rocking the hidden on this one. Are we going to see the double hidden from Finland? I'm not sure. Are we going to see the hard rock from Zeppe? I'm not sure. You did say, again, with hard rock put on, it's going to be a bit more dangerous here. But considering how well Zeppe played in the previous Free Mod 1 with a phenomenal FC, we could see it. What are your thoughts on this, Miles? What do you think?
I believe that Finland is going to play the exact same mods, and when I said I think these teams are going to take this one a lot differently when it comes to mods, I think I was more referring to Hong Kong. But looks like similar roster to last time going to be coming out for Finland as the Free Mod 1. We see Desku coming in with Amasthetic, Kalanlu, and Zeppe. I feel like that's pretty obviously going to be the Kalanlu hidden and the Zeppe hard rock. Team Hong Kong, I think a little bit more variance. Probably going to see A21 or Hibiki take the hidden. I assume Hibiki hidden. Very, very well-known hidden main. Very long-time tourney player who is known for being a hidden main. And probably going to be MCY4 on the hard rock once again for Team Hong Kong.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was expecting. I was expecting to see Hibiki on the hidden or A21 also on the hidden. Maybe a double hidden, we'll see. Xian, I'm suspected to be on the Nomad and MCY4. Despite not being on the hard rock previously, considering this is a lot more of an ulti map compared to Free Mod 1, I'm 100% expecting MCY4 on this hard rock. And it's going to be hidden hard rock here for MCY. An even more bold mod pick here for Hong Kong. Xian will be on the hidden instead.
I could not have been more wrong. Hong Kong are over-modding again. They simply do not care. They say, this alt map is my domain. I can do whatever I want in it, so I am going to overmod. But an overmod coming out from Finland as well, going double hard rock. Desku on the hidden hard rock, Zeppe on the hard rock. Kalanlu going to be taking the hidden, so only 2 no-mods in the whole lobby. These guys are ballsy.
I was going to say, man, we see the Hong Kong overmod, but Finland are overmodding as well. Double hard rock here, hidden hard rock for Desku. Kalanlu on the hidden, no surprises at all. Amasthetic on the no-mod, the most reliable one of the bunch, still going to be holding on to the no-mod. Unfortunately, though, he is going to sustain the first break here for Finland. Kalanlu's going to follow up as well. On the side of Hong Kong, you see Xian and Hibiki, the first to drop. Both the hidden players losing their FCs. MCY and A21 are the only 2 combos left. It is an even break away for both of these teams. Hong Kong maybe just winning a little bit more on the recoveries, which is why they've got that lead. But overall, it's still really close. But with that drop from Desku, that's going to change. Hong Kong are going to start pushing away even further now.
Oh, but
A21's going to drop as well. Oh, that's 1 FC gone as well. Gosh, it's looking back and forth here.
That triangle claiming A21 right before the break, that has got to be such a tilting miss, missing right before the break has got to be the worst feeling in this game. But yeah, only MCY4 holding on to the full combo for Hong Kong up against Zeppe on the hard rock once again, beasting it for Finland. But he's got a lot of work on his plate this time as Zeppe still got half of the map remaining. Amasthetic and Colin Liu bringing back their combos, but they're matched by Xion and Hibiki, so I would say this combo is about at equilibrium right now. We're going to need to see another break from Hong Kong for this to go back in favor of Finland. But for now, I think they're fine with that situation. There's a lot of map left to break on, so you just got to hold your combos and pray for the other team to help you out here.
Yes, that halfway mark has been reached here. A21 is going to, unfortunately, cap his score quite a bit by missing at the halfway mark. Xion is going to drop, but Zeppe is going to trade it. A much more devastating trade here for Finland. Both of the biggest combos here for this Finnish roster are going to go down. MCY4 remains completely unfazed, and Hibiki, with a beautiful recovery, completely shutting down any odds of recovery here for Callan Liu. Hong Kong just completely pushing this far and away from Finland. MCY still holding on to the Hidden Hard Rock full combo. Honestly, I'm not surprised a player like him performing on something like this. Phenomenal score. Even then, the final quarter of the map to go. And the combos from Finland are falling apart. Nothing here for Finland to fight back with. All they have is a blunt sword and a tiny dagger that is Amasthetic's combo. Whereas on the other side, Hong Kong have got an army of combos here. The only drop being from Xion. Outside of that, A21 Hibiki recovering beautifully, and MCY4 FCing spectacularly. He finally drops on the ending, but 1 million score is still solidified. Hong Kong make it 3-2.
That is such a tragic break from MCY. He was just like 20 combo away from a Hidden Hard Rock FC on that. But regardless, a Hidden Hard Rock near FC on that, on paper, that score is going to be one of the highest scores of the weekend you're going to see on this map. Getting above 1,060,000 means he's going to beat any Hidden FC on that. So very good stuff for Hong Kong on their third pick. So far, haven't seen a breakpoint in this match. All the teams holding strong on their own picks. And Finland are going to need to do the same here, or else they risk putting Hong Kong at match point. So going to need to see where they go from here. They've still got 2 DTs remaining in the pool, and I fully expect them to go for one of them, probably DT3.
Yep, DT3 is 100% looking like the most likely option here for Finland. They seem very dominant on the double time too. This one not being as consistency heavy, much more on the raw speed, but still up Finland's alley, if not more at Finland's alley, considering the slightly higher speed cap needed here. But outside of that, you've also got the normal 2 potentially, maybe saving that DT3 for a more guaranteed solution. Because it's so tight in the main map score here, maybe they just want to stay secure. Maybe they just want to keep going into their strongest picks, stacking and stacking until the late stage when they don't have anything left.
But it's a tough decision. You're in arguably the most important part of the match, 3-2. Yeah. A loss here would put Hong Kong at match point, and a win here would keep the equilibrium and force Hong Kong into their last pick. And they are taking their time, making use of that good 2-minute timer.
Yeah, rightfully so. They also do have a formidable aim team. There is a chance they might go for more of the aim ones, but it's not going to be the case. It is going to be double time 3 as we predicted. I'm guessing they probably had a bit of a confliction here, maybe unsure of comfort, maybe waiting to see which players are the most prepared here. But it's going to be double time 3. Wall, Piroshki's insane. Apologies. This is a pretty speedy one, Miles.
Yep, I would say more towards the finger control, actually. Definitely a more speedy finger control map, though, compared to something like the DT2, which also had a considerable amount of finger control as well. But still something that should definitely go up the alley of Finland after performing so strong on that DT2. You're going to see that same roster come out, I think, and we can already see 3 of those players in. Freeze, Amasthetic, Zeppe, and Desku to take the 4th spot on this one for Team Finland, actually. Meanwhile, for Hong Kong, probably going to see some of those speed players come back in, maybe a Zumari or a Max Virio, but MCY and A21 going to continue to sit. I think those are fine choices. Both of them should be fine on this map, I think, despite not necessarily being known as maybe speed mains, still able to access it in round of 32.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I'm 100% expecting the 2 stable speed players for this Hong Kong team to pop in, but it's going to be F2X instead of Zumari. Okay, still a good player though. Not doubting F2X's ability at all. The guy is still very capable on these tapping maps. One of the better tapping players for Hong Kong. But on the side of Finland, they're sticking with a really strong trio here of Emercetic, Freeze, and Zeppe, and Desku filling in. It's no surprise at all. Well, again, you could see another player popped in here instead, but still a good player for this. 100% can be the great fourth man for this Finnish team. And as you mentioned, Miles, this one is quite consistent. This is 3 with DT converted. I know you, ladies and gentlemen, cannot see the double time stats underneath. Hopefully that will get changed in the future. But the statistic I've got right here, 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, still decently long. Drain time 2 minutes and 50, but still, yeah, this map is quite consistent. You've got a lot of burst speed and finger control. One thing that I noticed with this map is that quite a lot of the map has a similar pattern that kind of repeat over and over, that kind of don't really stop until towards the late stage where there's more finger control amplified here. You can kind of see an example here of that pattern repeating itself, the repeat slider into bursts and singles here. It mostly stays similar to things like this towards the late stage of the map, until that late stage of the map where finger control becomes a little bit more seen, a little bit more obvious. But outside of that, the only drop being from Max Biro going into this intro section. Outside of that, Finland still hold on to the full four-way FC.
And if Twitch chat is to be believed, this is actually a Finnish tune you are listening to. So if that is the case, then there's a little bit of an outside narrative going on coming into this. But yeah, Max Burio finding a lot of trouble in the beginning, down at 95%. And that is basically going to be the difference in score for now, about 90k in favor of Finland. And they're going to need to hold on to those combos because still 3 full combos for Hong Kong.
So far, so good here for Finland. Only 2 misses here from Max Birio for Hong Kong. The 3 FCs from Hong Kong still remain stable. A good accuracy deficit, though, for Hong Kong. It is Finland just holding on to that big difference here. Desku is finally going to be the first to drop here for Finland. But the lower stack not being the most big drop. You still have Max Biro on the recovery, so combo advantage does lean in favor of Hong Kong. But it's going to be a slow and steady ease into their advantages here. It's still looking really good for Finland, though. Emercetic and Freeze and Zeppe all holding on to over 99.4 accuracy. Desku is going to drop once again, though. And if Max Birio can maintain this combo along with the rest from Hong Kong, they're going to slowly but surely start bringing it back. But this act, Miles, is looking like to kind of keep it as a wall here. Even though they have the combo disadvantage, this insane act from the 3 core FCs from Finland are really making this bleed slowly.
Oh my god, this is so close. 3 full combos on both sides. It is just the combo from Max Birio giving Hong Kong the score edge right now. But as you mentioned, the accuracy is still holding on for Finland, and that's going to be the difference. While they hold on, Desku and Max Birio trade again. Oh, but MCY breaks third. It's Zeppe. It's 2-2. Oh, everyone is breaking. Everyone is breaking. It is a clone fiesta at the end here.
As I mentioned, towards the late stage, finger control starts to get much more pronounced. You can see the speeds into 2 singles and doubles and much more control here. Emercetic and Freeze remain completely untouched here, and they're going to be holding on. Emercetic drops towards the very ending, but Freeze has got his back. He's going to be able to FC the ending as long as I don't curse him. And towards the late stage, the biggest difficulty ramp up of the map trips up the entirety of the Hong Kong roster. Freeze!
That accuracy, 99.68%. Just breaking at the very end. That is probably one of the best scores you're going to see on that map, despite the break at the end. 4 100s for Freeze. What an unbelievable score from the guy.
99.68 accuracy on a high BPM finger control heavy map with a hugely chokeable section towards the late stage. You can't help but think that this is one of the perfect scores we saw here from this early stage. Granted, he dropped at the end, which is probably the most tragic thing about this score. But outside of that, Freeze letting Hong Kong know that he's the big boss.
As he has been for years in OWC and in community tournaments as well. Whenever you see Freeze, you have to be a little bit scared of him on some of these DT picks because he can just pull off performances like that. And now score tied once again at 3 apiece. Hong Kong hand now forced into their last pick. There's no ult remaining, but I think they could go for something like that Hidden 2 or that Hard Rock 2, as I mentioned earlier. Both going to be pretty good picks for Hong Kong on paper. But yeah, also apparently I was mistaken for that last song being a Finnish tune. It was actually a British tune. So you should have caught me there, Shiva.
Hey, I don't listen to this kind of music. What do you mean? I don't listen.
Oh, Nomad won.
Music. My apologies.
Nomad won.
My taste isn't as sophisticated, but yes, it's Nomad 1 picked here for Hong Kong. This is, I guess you could say, quite a unique one. A bit more unconventional than your standard Nomad 1 here. A few more awkward aim patterns than regular here. You are not going to see most of your comfortable jumps. You're going to mostly see the awkward linear into squares. You're going to see lower spacing to compensate for its linear and awkward patterns. A few awkward stacks as well. This map is a bit more on the awkward side, not your conventional comfortable aim, which makes you think, Miles, do you think Hong Kong have a bigger edge on this? Because Finland, despite being really strong on aim, it might be more on the conventional side that Finland are strong, and this awkward aim might be a bit of a trip up for them.
I mean, it's a round of 32, Nomad 1. Whichever aim you put it, I think it's going to be something that Finland is going to be able to put out a comfy 4 on. But still, this type of awkward aim, I think, is something that Hong Kong is extremely strong on. Oh, and we're seeing another one of Hong Kong's newcomers enter the lobby, Tommy315, another player who joined for, I think, 5 maps during qualifiers, if I remember correctly. So, yep, definitely a player who's going to have some impact on Hong Kong as we go further into the tournament coming in now. So, I believe this is his bracket stage debut, though.
This is indeed Tommy315's first map here in the round of 32 of the US World Cup. And honestly, I think this is the best time for him to pop in. He's one of the stronger aim players for this Hong Kong team, performing particularly well on aim and precision in the qualifiers. I'm looking to see good things from this Tommy player. On the side of Finland, you're sticking with your core lineup from your previous speed map. Freeze, Domacetic, Descu, and Zepe remaining for Finland. The Trinity for Hong Kong and Tommy. This is bound to be an exciting one.
Most definitely. I mean, we're just barreling towards a tiebreaker at this point, aren't we? 6 straight 1 picks from each of these teams, neither letting up a sliver of a break point. Most of these picks have been very definitive.
Oh,
tech difficulties?
Hold on. We may be getting a quick tech refresh. Hold on. I did not expect this. Surprise from both of us, but we're getting back into it. Okay. Nice and quick. I think we're going to transition now into the in-game audio. There we go. Lovely. That was awkward. That was a bit weird, Miles, but it's okay. We're back into the match now. Let's pretend that never happened, shall we? Nomad 1 here picked for Hong Kong. If they are to win this, they've got the tiebreaker point secured for them. But going into this little early bit here, it's just minor accuracy differences here, but that's going to switch at any time.
As much as I was chalking this up to be a awkward aim map, it is also fairly high BPM as well, up at 230 BPM. It's something where we're going to be seeing a lot of players opt into alternating, which I think almost the entire lobby is. 3 out of 4 of the Hong Kong players and 2 out of 4 of the Finnish players are going to be alternating this one. And you know, that could have an impact on things. I know a lot of players are a lot more comfortable at BPMs where they're able to single tap when it comes to the aim. That doesn't appear to have impacted anybody yet. Everybody is still holding on to their full combos as we're about to enter the first chorus, though, as we're really expecting to start to see some breaks from these players.
First key eye to come through here. No players are dropping into this early stage. You can kind of see the patterns here, and the big sliders are not going to trip up anybody. Both of these teams looking really, really solid. It's only Finland holding on to an accuracy lead, but there's the first drop. Zepe's down for Finland. Advantage immediately flips now for Hong Kong.
Oh, 21.
21 is going to make the trade, and it's back to even ground. Small combo advantage for Finland into this next verse.
So scary. This lead is just teetering on a knife's edge right now. The accuracies are so close. The combos are even closer. Only about 40 of difference between Zepe and A21. So it's all, I think, going to come down to the next few chorus sections. Oh, but Descu finding a break after that 1/3 pattern. That is not where you want to break. That is exactly halfway through the map. His score just got capped brutally.
That's one of the scariest parts of that map, where it's so easy to choke and mess up if you're not paying attention. Unfortunately, Descu was not prepared for it. A second drop following up afterwards for him, but Finland, unfortunately, going to be on the back foot. Hong Kong with their trinity of full combos here from MCY4, Tommy, and Xion. Still going to be looking good. There's a little bit of a guitar solo section here, a little bit of a difficulty ramp up of the speed as well. You see the bursts, and you see the jumps here. Slider jumps as well, squares into linears. It's looking really tough, but Hong Kong keep it going. Alid and Amasthetic as well holding on for Finland here. The recoveries and the 2 FCs for Finland are still quite impressive, but Hong Kong just look way too dominant. A21 completely suppressing Desku, and Zepe is the last kind of outlying combo here, but considering you have 3 FCs for Hong Kong, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, I'd say Hong Kong aren't out of the woods just yet. They have an 1/8 of the map remaining, but all things considered, if a meltdown does occur, Finland still has the prime combos to be able to take it back. Only about 200k of lead for Hong Kong, but Hong Kong being 21.
I think it has to be a triple miss. It has to be a triple miss because it's getting too far away now. It's 200k. MCY4, Tommy, and Shion all have to drop, and Amasthetic and Alid all have to hold. It's looking really dire. Big 1-2 jump section doesn't trip up anybody. And Hong Kong are driving this through, keeping it as far from Finland's reach as possible, despite such a great effort from Alid and Amasthetic to keep it going for Finland. It's not going to be enough. Hong Kong are at match point.
We are now at 7 straight 1 picks from these teams. Finland now have to convert on 1 more of their picks to force the tiebreaker. And I think of the maps remaining, I think it has to be that DT1. They were looking so strong on the DT2 and the DT3. So the natural progression from that is going to be the remaining DT if they opt into that.
I have to agree.
Looking at the rest of this map pool, it just looks so risky outside of that. Like, I guess they could also pick that Nomad 2, another speed map, but that one I think could be a little bit more accessible to Hong Kong, in my opinion. This is one where that's a fully gut-based opinion. But other than those 2 DT and speed maps, you have a lot of aim left in the pool. You have precision in that Hard Rock 2. And I'm not sure they're going to want to go for any of that up into this Hong Kong roster.
No, you're definitely, if you're thinking you're Finland, you got to be safe. You got to go for the maps that you're the most comfortable with, and the 2 that immediately come to mind is the Double Time 1 and the No Mod 2. This Double Time 1 isn't like last qualifier's Double Time 1. This has quite a bit more tapping in it. I wouldn't say it's primarily a tapping map. It's kind of a good hybrid between aim and tapping. You still got your good set of standard Double Time aim, but the tapping in this is also going to be quite beneficial here for Finland. What matters is, can they handle the hybrid? Are they going to even go for it? The normal 2 is possible, and it's going to be normal 2. DT1 will not be picked in this match, Miles. It's do or die for Finland. This is the last map for them to secure tiebreaker against Hong Kong. This is it. Are you still is going to be the final pick.
Are you ready? Is what I want to ask everybody, because I think this map is kind of crazy. There's that long stream at the ending that could produce a very hype moment if both these teams can hold some big combos into the ending. But with how Finland has been playing on the speed mechanic so far in this match, I think this is a very good final pick for them to try and force TB. Hong Kong has been struggling a bit to find that, I think, comfortable for the speed. Max Birio has been struggling on speed so far in this match, finding breaks on both DT2 and DT3, but he is not going to be playing this. It's going to be F2X, Shion, A21, and MCY. Which, if Finland is going up against this roster on this, if Hong Kong, all 4 of those players are comfortable on this, I think this could be very, very difficult.
Yeah, I think one thing that we need to keep in mind about this map is that it is very on the tapping side. There is not much aim requirement in this map. 234 BPM for 4 minutes. Your speed requirement is really high on this. But for Hong Kong, they're not going to be leaning with either of those 2 strong speed players that we mentioned earlier. In fact, it's going to be F2X, probably going to be the most outlying player here that I'm looking forward to seeing for Hong Kong. Whereas Finland, they're sticking with their core 4 that they have been nailing these tapping heavy maps with. Freeze, Desku, Amasthetic, and Zepe for Finland. It all comes down to this. Your techie speedy shred, burst heavy with a few instances of fin control, 1/3 and a couple bursts and doubles here and there. But generally overall, it's really heavy in that tapping. Very low aim requirement, something that on paper you really see this Finnish team performing exceptionally well on. And with this 4 minutes, this 4-minute length on this normal 2, you have to think stamina could be a valuable component here as well.
We've been seeing a lot of people miss on aim on this, like not even related to the burst at all. We're going to see if either of these teams end up falling victim to that. While I do think the main difficulty emphasis is going to be on the bursts, there are still jumps to miss on this map, which is something that you don't typically see in a no mod 2 speed map, by the way.
Yeah. Those burst ladders as well have the potential to seriously trip someone up if they are not laser focused here. But going into this first little key ice section, you kind of get the gist of what this map is about. Early stages looking good in favor of both teams. Accuracy is really, really close. No significant score advantage and no drop so far. It's going to start getting really tense with AFC this first KI here.
Oh, Zeppe!
There it is. There's Zeppe.
Oh,
and there's
Freeze!
It's traded by F2X, but 2 breaks to 1.
That's
It's
cool.
going to be disastrous for Finland. Deathscoop's going to go down as well. Amasthetic is the last man standing for Finland. Whereas on the other side, Hong Kong showed the break. 3 FCs to 1. 2 sad faces for Amasthetic, the man who's got to pull all the weight, and for F2X, the one who can't pull enough. It's all down to the next half here. Amasthetic, you've got to hold on.
Yeah, Hong Kong still with 3 FCs. They weren't able to do it on any of the other picks from Finland, but now on this map, looking to go so strong into this second third of the map, still holding onto their 3 FCs. They are exploding in the lead right now, already about 200k in their favor, and they're just going to grow that. During this key ice section, they are absolutely beasting it. F2X breaks again, but it doesn't matter. The 3 FCs are still going. Xion does find a break. And you know, actually... but that Zeppe break.
The recoveries here are so valuable, and that has to be it. Amasthetic is down. There's a third of this map left to go. A21 and MCY4 remain untouchable on this. 99 accuracy respectively, 99.01 and 99.65. All the combos from Finland are gone. And 2 FCs are the only things left standing here. The score is going to completely fly out of Finland's reach of possibility to the degree of impossibility. Unfortunately, it's looking too dire. MCY and A21 just look so consistent, so good on this. They don't drop on the 1/3 either. It just looks like it's all Hong Kong here.
Yep, no combos remaining from Finland. It is all Hong Kong. It is all MCY4 and A21 holding onto those 2 FCs into the ending, both nearing 99%, but not quite there. We're going to see if they can manage to get up to 99% on this end bursts, which are definitely the most difficult part of the map. They get through that one, but there's still the long burst. See if they can get through that one.
Honestly, I kind of underrated this aim requirement. I cannot lie to you. There is actually a lot of weird sections where you're going to have to move your cursor in very sporadic ways, kind of more on the awkward and scary tight side, but with that final burst coming in, only drop being
A21,
no! And A21 on the last slider is going to drop, but it doesn't matter. Hong Kong are going to be the ones to take Finland off the winner's bracket stage, taking the first breakpoint and the only breakpoint of this match, and Hong Kong will advance into the winner's side round of 16.
After 7 straight picks of 0 breakpoints, Hong Kong comes out with a statement in that final pick, taking it by just nearly 1 million points. And they are going to be moving on into the round of 16 winner's side. Finland, though, put up one hell of a fight on their own picks.
Absolutely, right? They had some great scores to come in, and on top of that, some of the scores from Hong Kong that Hong Kong picked Finland were a great threat on. So that was a good chance that things could have been done differently, but the back and forth chain finally ends in that normal 2. Hong Kong will be the ones to take it, and that will be it. Finland are down, but not out. They are going to be facing another team in the loser side bracket, and this team, considering how much of a fight they put up against a team like Hong Kong, I don't think they're going to be gone. I don't think they're going to be gone for very long.
Most certainly. But now I believe that is going to be doing it for this match now. I'm not sure if we have a match on the B stream. We do have a match on the B stream. Yep. We've got China versus Japan going to be played on the B stream in 1 minute. So you all should be looking forward to that match. I believe Demarsh is going to come in to replace me at commentary, but you're going to be sticking here. So
yes.
I'm going to be saying goodbye to y'all and definitely enjoy this next match. I think China versus Japan, this could be one of the matches of the weekend.
Indeed. one of the most closest matchups yet. I cannot be more excited. Thank you so much, Miles, for casting with me today. It's been wonderful. And yeah, thanks, guys. We'll be back like very, very, very soon. We're just waiting on our next caster to pop in here. But yeah, great match. Don't go anywhere. The next one is coming up very, very soon. Hello everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to the Eos World Cup. We had a brilliant back-to-back match here with Finland against Hong Kong, a great banger. And we are here with another amazing banger. I cannot wait for this one. China against Japan, one of the most exciting matchups of this weekend, if not the most exciting one. The hungriest nation coming into this year against the Sunrise Kingdom. I'm once again Sad Shiba, and I'm joined by the wonderful Dimash.
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello.
Alrighty. This match is super exciting. We're already going into our bans here. Really quick stage, considering we were just a little bit late because of the great match that was the previous match between Finland and Hong Kong. But going into the bans here, DT2 banned for China, and Hard Rock 2 banned for Japan. These bans are not really too surprising here. Japan have always been the much stronger mechanics team against China. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can lean into here. Nomor 2 is going to be the entry pick for Japan. No surprises here. Tavern Mechanics has always been a great pick for Japan. They've always been really good on this. So I cannot wait to see what is going to happen here.
Yeah, I mean, both rosters have got some solid stuff going for them. I think China definitely want to... They want to show what they can do. You know, anybody who watched last year knows exactly what happened. We don't really want to cover it too much again, but, you know, still, despite everything, strong roster from China. You know, you've still got David Q2, you've got Burger Fox, you've got Milk Tea. Crystal's back once again, and we all know what Crystal is capable of. Especially early round, late round, can pretty much do it all. But Japan, the return of Arvalian, that's the big story this year. So we're definitely looking to see what Arvalian can do to this roster. Alongside the returning favourites, Rolpan, Antolin, Evoker, Konkon, Kinikon. There's just so much to talk about and so little time to do it.
I know, right? Yeah, hate to see that, because we're already going into our first map here. But looking at these rosters, I'm not too surprised. Seeing Barvali Natichi in here is brilliant. Invoker and Rolpan, of course, also good players for Japan to play in this here. Looking at China, I think the big star of the show to look out for here is Z9 and Lolo233, also known as Milk Tea. I'm looking forward to those two players in particular. I think those are going to be the two big players for China to potentially fight back Japan on this normal 2. This normal 2, I think, was literally the last one we played in the last match as well. This is some unique kinds of normal 2, not the normal 2 that you'd normally expect. This is more of your speed tech shred map, much more tapping in this, much more speed and stamina heavy, with a little hit of weird awkward aim. I kind of, you could say awkward aim. It's not really to the degree where it's aim mechanics. It's more just to the degree where it can be quite stressful and difficult with the amount of tapping needed in this map on top of it. So yeah, 4-minute long shred map. I'm looking forward to seeing what goes down here for both of these teams. And here we go. Japan and China is about to begin.
Yeah, kicking things off. We've got Invoker, Rollpan, Varvalion, and Tichi for Japan. They picked this roster knowing it's going to be their strong early break, though, for Varvalion. Going to put them on the back foot. Much stronger start from China, all for getting through the early opening of the map. Angel Anzu, Crystal, Lolol233, and Z98 for reference. Result Lolol233 is good old milk tea.
Yep, indeed. We're going into another bit of a difficulty ramp-up section here. Varvalion's going to drop once again for Japan, whereas China on the other side look completely unfazed here. Z9, I mean, I know people call him Z98, Z numbers or something. I'm just going to call him Z9 because it sounds very satisfying and it reminds me of a funny old meme back in the day. So I'm just going to keep calling him Z9. But he's looking good here, 96 sack, whereas the rest of China also completely backing him up massively with great accuracy, particularly from My Angel Anzu with 99.23, the highest stack in the entire lobby, outshining Japan in the majority combo here. But outside of this combo, it's just Varvalion with still the only drop for Japan. Everything else remains solid here for both of these teams. Japan are praying for another Chinese player to drop here going into this next half.
Yeah, definitely looking to be...
There it is!
There it is! Z9 with the drop. And the recovery from Varvalion. He's been known to be a bit of a streamy player in the past. But Invoker is going to put some pressure on the Varvalion recovery as he will find that drop of the full combo. So it's favored to China right now. They could be looking for an early breakpoint. But Angel Anzu is going to throw a spanner in the works.
That's a giant drop. My Angel Anzu's gone, one of the full combos here. Milk Tea's also going to drop. It's back advantage. Crystal's gone as well. That's a full collapse for China. There's no full combo left now. And Japan are going to be able to fly ahead with this, assuming Rollpan and Tichi maintain it. There's a bit of a slow section to go, but it's not going to be too long until we go into the next Ki here. Big drop for China. They went from a triple FC and a good recovery from Z9 to nothing at all but the combo from Z9 on the recovery. Invoker is also going to be very close to contesting his combo as well. 400 combo and climbing, trailing Z9, whereas Rollpan and Tichi completely far and away the highest scores in this lobby, holding on to their FCs. Going into this final quarter, Japan completely excelling.
Look at the accuracy on Rollpan right now, really far and above the rest of the lobby. Varvalion going to drop, but still keeping good accuracy. But Tichi will find a miss in the ending of the match, but it's not going to change anything. Z9 cannot do enough after that earlier break. Really gets a lot of China has just been 500k maxed on this map, whereas Rollpan brings it home for Japan.
Final big burst.
Yeah,
Final big burst,
nice
so that's going to be it. That's going to be it. Rollpan and Tichi completely shred for Japan. And God, that fall apart from China was disastrous. A good recovery from Z9. And if you had to have thought, if China even kept one, maybe two of those full combos, it could have been an entirely different story. It was dead even in favor of China for the majority of that map. But towards the final ending stage, the big fall apart for China and the two superstar combos from Tichi and Rollpan just soared the lead up to about nearly 400,000 score. And Japan take map number 1, avoiding a very possible breakpoint.
Yeah, like you look at the MP and the results of that match, and you just think, oh, that's so tragic for China. Looking at that, you see 1, 2, 3 scores that just got insta locked on the 500k. We had a big drop from Crystal on the accuracy, which is a bit unusual, but I think that was a chain miss, which explains the accuracy drop. But the others, they just weren't strong on that map, and then the breaks all just seemed to happen at once. Z9 managed to build up a nice combo to bring it home, and it was just that. It was unfortunate from China to have that triple break, and all really suffer that 500k gap, whereas Japan, they managed to weave their way through that with some early misses and some good recoveries.
This next pick for China, Dance You Matilda. This is the Hard Rock, no, a Nomad 3, apologies. The Nomad 3. This is a ulti finger control mechanics extravaganza. Kind of a decent hybrid. I'd more say there's a bit more on the snapping side, but it's got quite a bit of control needed in this. And considering China are one of the best ulti teams in this tournament, I wouldn't be surprised. David and Milk Tea are going to be sticking around here for China. Well, not sticking around, sorry. Maiju Anzu and Milk Tea are going to be sticking around. David is going to be put in here for China. Their fourth player, not too sure. You might see Crystal, or you could maybe see another player pop in here for China. But Japan, so far, they're not too sure. But Rolpan for sure will be sticking around. 100% going to be the hidden player for this Japan roster. And thought I'd also add, with Hidden put on top of this, the 1/4 patterning in this map has quite a bit of density in it, which can arguably make this difficult to read with Hidden if you're not too prepared for it. Nothing too crazy, but a good note to add for our Hidden players in this lobby.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. There is some difficulty with this map around the sort of Hidden mod, but again, it's not great on the Hard Rock either. You will run into difficulty at certain points of this free mod, but it's one of those maps that I think you only go in with absolute confidence. And just to kind of go over the free mod rules, for those that are unfamiliar with how free mod works, we require a Hidden player and a Hard Rock or Hidden. So that means one must go exclusively Hidden and one must go Hard Rock, but may choose to add Hidden, just to help with the reading. But other than that, the mods are up for debate, up for choice, and let's see what we've got here going into this map. So no overmodding from either team. Rolpan and My Angel Anzu will be representing the Hidden requirement, and LOL233 Milk Tea and Varvalian for the Hard Rock, just to catch up on those early breaks. Rikuma, Varvalian, finding those early drops. Everyone else seemed to be holding strong though.
So far, so good here for China. Crystal being the reliable guy on the Nomad along with David. And so far, it's looking good for China. Big advantage there. Rolpan on the Hidden is going to drop. Both of your modded scores for Japan are going to be cut severely with those drops. Tichi, last man standing for Japan in this full combo. Rikuma, with that super early drop, might I add, only about, 50-60 combo difference here. Not going to be too detrimental for him, but long term, if China maintain at least 2 full combos, Japan are going to be completely oppressed in this map. This is 3 minutes long, though. There is a good amount of time for Japan to recover and hope for China to go for a drop. Mind you, Anzu is going to be the first for China just before the break. Has to sting for him. The Hidden combo is gone, but you still have a solid 3-way FC from Crystal, LOL235, also known as David, and LOL233, also known as Milk Tea.
Yeah, the pressure that puts on. When you see Anzu, with the drop, your team is all looking at that score going, oh, so unfortunate, but it does put a bit of pressure on the other players. Luckily, the roster for China is so experienced, it probably doesn't even phase them one bit. But Japan, they know they've got the work to do. They've got to hold on to those combos, but they've got to focus on recovery. Tichi did have another drop alongside David now, so 2 big combos apiece. The Hard Rocks pulling the work here on this free mod 3.
with that drop from Teachy and Rikuma following up as well. The higher combos for Japan are gone. It's all Varvalion now to try and keep it back on the Hard Rock. But considering that break previously is going to completely negate it, hold on, Milk Tea's going to drop as well, actually. It's just Crystal fighting for this dominance for China. It's just so slowly shrinking here. And Japan could do something, but there's only a quarter of the map left. Varvalion's not only going to have to hold, but the recoveries respectively from Japan are going to have to stay stable here. Crystal's gone! That's a ginormous combo for China. Is now gone. It's going to start shifting now as long as Varvalion can hold. Mind you, Answer's a great recovery, but Teachy's going to go down.
That's going to slow it down. Looking at Rolpan, My Angel Anzu, they're battling back and forth. Varvalion's got open court here to build some score. Not a lot of time left though. Teachy's going to drop, not going to help Japan. Rikuma is trying to build something, but I think Japan might just be able to hold on to this. Very little time left. It's reducing, but is it enough? I'm not sure. It is. Varvalion drops. Angel Anzu drops though. I think they hold on to this.
Is that
Big
still time?
Spinner. No.
No, towards the end, that's
spin.
it. China still got it, but God, was that a close one. Varvalion was trailing. He was hungry. But honestly, I'm pretty sure even then, even if Varvalion drops, I'm pretty sure it was like one of the last notes before the spinner. I don't think Japan would have made it, unfortunately, but still, good lord, did that have some potential? There was a great shot there for Varvalion and friends to get that recovery back, but the early stage combo deficit was too strong for Japan to overcome. China are going to take it.
Yeah, that was really interesting. So we saw, of course, Varvalion, really strong performance. Didn't have as good accuracy as Crystal, but that hard rock modifier really coming in clutch to try and, even out that score. Crystal, of course, managing to really hold on to that. But it was the hard rocks that really did the work for both of these teams on that matchup. Good accuracies across the board. No real outliers that just let go. It was just unfortunate, I think, for Japan. They just didn't get the combos in and were just snuffed slightly. But that, the scoreline represents that 73,000 score difference between the two. It is one apiece.
1-2-1 here. It is back to Japan to go into the next pick. I believe you may be having a small minor technical difficulty, which is why we have this lovely World Cup screen in front of us. Admire the beautiful graffiti. Not graffiti, sorry. The, what do you call it? Confetti. That's it. The confetti over our lovely logo.
Oh, there's nothing to quite break up the tension of a 1v1 deficit than a lovely technical issue.
Yep.
It happens. There's not much we can do about it, but it is one of those. So we will fill you in on any picks that happen as best we can while we try and get things back underway.
Yeah, we're just waiting on to see which picks are going to be up next. We do still see on the MP link that some players are joining and leaving the lobby, so we'll update you guys on that as soon as we can. But I do hear a song. I'm not sure if that's linked to the pool. I think it is. Wait, I think this is DT3 that's been picked for China, for Japan. Sorry, I'm pretty sure this is double time.
It is Japan's pick up next.
Yeah.
They can pretty much choose anything. There's no issues on double picking. So DT3, is up next. So
been confirmed by our lovely referee.
Let's try and have a look and see what Japan are going to do here. I mean, just going off what they did on qualifiers, I think we can kind of roughly assume what the rosters are going to be without having to peek into the lobby as we still try and get the technical issues sorted. So I'm looking at players like David Q2, Burger Fox, Milk Tea, all to come in for this because they carried through the DT in the qualifiers. Whereas Japan, there's a bit of debate on which player is going to be best. They tended to stick with Rolpan, Antolin, Teachy, and Varvalion during their qualifier runs. So it's all going to come down to which fourth player they're putting in for this. And interesting, very interesting. We're seeing Roshi for the first time for Japan. Not really in for the DT scores at all during the... Did show up on DT1, actually.
Yeah.
But we didn't see him much on DT2 and 3 in qualifiers. So this is interesting. An interesting choice from Japan for sure.
Yeah, we didn't see Ryoshi in the qualifiers play any of the tapping heavy maps for Japan, but it's safe to say he's still got some good double time experience. So this kind of speedy finger control map is going to be maybe something that's up his alley. And having Altalene teaching Vivalion backing him up is no slouch at all. But on the side of China, they've got a formidable team here. Z Numbers and Survivor X4, two of the strong new tapping players for China, along with the two staples, Kurumi and Milty, in for China. So far, so good here for Japan. Z9 is going to be the first to drop here, along with Survivor X4. The two speed nucleated newcomers for China are going to be the first to drop, unfortunately. But one thing that I want to talk about in this map is that it is quite on the speedy side, but also quite control heavy. It's also quite repetitive in its patterning. You can see it here. It's kind of the same through and through. Burst into slider into double, burst into slider into double, kind of repeating itself every now and again. Just under 3 minutes long. First break shows here. Japan have a good advantage here, but not too far away are China. Kurumi and Milty still holding on to their full combos. And Altalene, hold on a minute, I didn't notice that. Altalene dropped, hold on, my bad. This is a lot closer than it actually is because the two recoveries from Survivor X4 and Z9 are actually going to be securing a combat advantage here for China. It's slowly starting to slip through, but this Ki could be the next time we see a drop. Ryoshi, Vivalion, and Tichi still holding strong here. And China are still contesting this. Bancho's going to give us a little bit of time to catch up. Vivalion's going to drop though. That's going to be the big drop for Japan. And now China have the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this, you can see, like you said, those repeating patterns. They're really, it's really stamina draining, actually, which is an interesting factor. You know, the repeating patterns. You're having a lot of same repetition on the fingers. You know, the bursts. You're all using the same finger constantly. It does, it does cause drops. Altalene Survivor will find those misses, but there's still 3 full combos to China. It's their pick. It's theirs to drop, really, with Roshi and Tichi trying to hold things for Japan. There's a little bit... Vivalion, no, he's gone. He's just gone. There's not a lot Japan can do. They just need a big break from China.
It's too little too late here for Japan. Ryoshi and Tichi are trying so hard to keep Japan in this map. Survivor X4 and Z Numbers are both going to drop, but LOL 234 and 233, Kurumi and Milty still looking unfazed here. And as long as they just maintain the combos between Ryoshi and Tichi, Japan are going to have no room to come back. And Tichi, with that drop, has got to secure something now. 200k and climbing now for China. Survivor X4 and Z9 may be struggling here towards the late stage, but Kurumi and Milty have got their back. Altalene and Vivalion dropping multiple times once again. Ryoshi, the last man for Japan to hold on to a great FC, but it's not going to be enough. China take it and make it 2-1. And it is their pick as well. It wasn't a breakpoint. I thought Japan picked this, but nope. It is China to take it, and they won it.
Yeah, I mean, good scores from Roshi and Tichi. Vivalion struggling a little, but I mean, if you look at the qualifier results, it is a China-favored map through and through. They managed to actually pull out a different roster for this. Survivor didn't play much of the DT none of it at all. Z98 only played DT2, I think, in the qualifiers. So you can tell that this China squad, they've got multiple players who can do DT. It's not just this is the 4-man roster they're going to stick with for all of DT. They've got different members for different things, and I think that's really important for your team flexibility into going into these maps, and that is what made the difference, I believe, with this map, because Japan's roster was a lot more predictable, and that means that they're not as strong, in my opinion.
Yeah, China always been really strong on tapping, especially with their new players.
I do apologize. That was a Japan pick. That was not China.
Oh, I still got trolled. I did get trolled. Okay.
It's because of the client reload. We do apologize for that.
I see.
The picks are still being reconfigured. So sorry. Yes, that was indeed a Japan pick, which makes that a breakpoint for China.
Beautiful for China.
Now we've corrected that. Apologies.
I think okay. So okay. I still think it's right to say that China. Maybe not always known. I might have slipped up there, but they do still have a really solid tapping core, especially in this early stage. I think Milk Tea in particular is probably their strongest tapping player on their team. They are missing a player like Joseph Joestar, who was one of the star tapping players from last year, but this year they got some good players to replace him, having Survivor X4 and Z9 multiple times performing decently well in the tapping heavy maps in the qualifiers. Surely enough proven to be formidable tapping players for China, giving China that big upgrade, which had led to a breakpoint on the double time 3. Japan are up against a normal 3 for China though, and this is a scary one. Dimash, China, if there was one skill set that they were very well known for, it is ult and tech, and this is ult.
Yeah, I mean, agreed. 100% agreed. Strong. Very, very strong. However, qualifier results put this pretty much in favor of Japan over China. The best results from Japan outscaled the results from China in qualifiers. So I definitely wouldn't guarantee a Chinese victory on this map. It's definitely a strong pick for them. Maybe they feel that they didn't perform the best in qualifiers, and that's why, I don't think it's a redemption thing. I think it is one of their stronger skill sets. However, Japan did better in qualifiers, and with it scaling down in difficulty, who knows? Who knows? This really could go either way, this map. There's no guarantee.
Yeah, with Konkon Kinokon coming in here for Japan, and Rikuyama coming back for Japan, there is a good chance Konkon Kinokon, one of the really strong players here for Japan, a long-term player in this country. So I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing here, but this No Mod 3 is a pretty fun and pretty cool control ult map with a good hit of overlap during the Ki's, but outside of that, it's pretty fun, it's pretty comfy ult. A small guitar solo section and a small back and forth section that tripped up several players recently. We could see a drop in that regard, but overall, it's looking comfy for both of these teams. No drop so far going into this verse, but there's still a lot of map to go. That snappy pad could have led to a drop there. That snappy triangle bit, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, so longer map this one compared to what we've been seeing up till now. Of course, this pool starts very good balance between longer and shorter maps. We've had some of the shorter maps to start this off, so expect these maps to go on a little bit longer. But you do see good combos across.
Oh, that's off.
It's always when I say it. Every time. Rikuma for Valiant, they are down. Early drops, and that is favoring China right now. But like I said, we're still only a third of the way through the map, and there is a lot to go. Some tough sections up ahead.
Those two drops for Japan are going to be massive here for China. Slow section to build up more and more of their lead. All four players holding brilliantly, but Crystal in particular holding on to firing away the highest stack in the lobby. 99.4 is beautiful. Actually, no, I take it back. Kinokon has the higher rack. But for China, Crystal is keeping them really far ahead. But Kinokon and Tichi are keeping that threat active here for China. Can Tichi and Kinokon keep the combos here for Japan, keep them a threat here? It's slowly approaching 300,000 in favor of China, but this next Ki section could lead to a drop, but it doesn't seem like it right now, Dimash. China remain completely untouchable here. But there's the first drop. Finally, Mind Alliance is gone, but Kinokon's traded it. Milk Tea may join that though, so it is Tichi, the lone combo here for Japan against two full combos from both Milk Tea and Crystal. It's still so far ahead for China. And going to this final quarter, what do Japan have outside of praying that they can drop? They've got the recoveries, but
I will say, yeah, the recoveries are actually keeping things quite neutral right now. You look Those two combos are about 700. That's 1400 between the two of them. So actually, they're keeping things quite neutral, only being outscaled by maybe 100. But Rikumia will find a drop, and that is going to favor China once again. The two full combos really doing some damage here. And with no time left in the map, I see a Chinese victory on their own pick.
Yeah, going towards this final ending section, Crystal and Milk Tea just remain ever so composed. And Teachy, despite putting up such a great effort for Japan, it's not going to be enough for the rest of his team. China will take the map and convert the breakpoint. Beautiful stuff here from both Crystal and Milk Tea. Mind you, Anzu and Kurumi having great combos as well. Japan had a chance, man. Really big threat towards the later stage with those two combos from Valvalin and Rikuma. Teachy and Kongo Kinikon had a great chance, but overall, the overall total team score, the overall total consistency just leaned way more in favor of China. And they took it. And it's Japan's next pick. They got to try and stay in this with their next option. What do you think they're going to go into, Dimash? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's hard to say because I think these teams are very evenly matched up. Qualifier results, they were very close between the two of them. Japan could easily take picks off China and vice versa. We saw it with that map. For a long time, there was potential. So it's when every map is a bit of a coin toss, you kind of just have to play into what your team is most flexible on. Where you can get multiple members. You can, if someone's not feeling the map, you can have someone swap in and do just as well. So it's at this stage, it's until we get to the last few maps of the pool, it's really hard to put a pick on it. They are going to go with DT1 though, so they're going to stick with that DT, which is understandable for Japan. It's another strong map from qualifiers. I think there's a bit more competition because it's a bit more aim focused, mechanically more challenging. But again, you can't count out either team, and that's what's scary about this matchup.
DC1 picked it for Japan. This is a pretty solid hybrid of DT aim and tapping, but quite a bit consistent requirement here. You need to be quite consistent to play this. A good hybrid of aim and tapping, pretty comfortable. So as long as you're comfortable on that DT, as long as you know what you need to do, as long as you are used to it, which honestly, seeing how early stage this is, not too much of an ask here, especially for these teams in particular. It's looking good for both of these teams, but Japan, I believe, outshine quite a bit on aim. And the aim requirement here, again, is decent, but not too severe. So Japan could still overall, based on the comfort, take this, but it really does depend on how they're feeling on the day. Rollpan, Konkon, Kinikon, and Teachy are going to be in for Japan with their fourth. I'm expecting to be either maybe Valvalin or Autolean. I'm thinking for Japan here. But for China, they've got their lineup instantly. Crystal, no surprise, brilliant aim player. Milk Tea and Kurumi keeping their momentum going on this double time one, and Z9 in as well. Hey, Dimash, do you want to know a fun fact? Did you know this DT1 is the same melody as Japanese Goblin?
That is an actual interesting fact that I did not know. Personal fan of Japanese Goblin, so that's a bonus for me. But interestingly enough, the one thing you can say, looking purely at qualifier results here, is that you had a very strong Japan performance on DT1. It is a strong map for them, and the big difference between this and qualifiers, you don't get that second run. You get one chance to bring the point home, and when you've got Japan, who had the strongest first run and the even stronger second run, you can't help but feel that it's theirs to lose at this point, which is understandable why they've picked into it.
I think generally what makes these early stage matches so exciting is the fact that it's such a low SR for both of these players. it isn't a matter of who can hold, it's who drops, who will drop, who will choke, who will fumble. And with this DT being pretty damn comfy, all of these players are very okay with this, but Z9 is going to be the first to drop on that bus slider, I believe. And Japan are going to be able to establish a combo advantage, but it's not going to be too much. Big slider jumps come through, and that's one of the first div spikes of the map. Varvalley is going to be the one to fall for it. But considering that early combo advantage there for Japan after that drop from Z9, it's going to be Japan holding on to the advantage, but really not by much. It's going to also start shrinking now in favor of China. After that drop from Varvalley, it's still so even. I would say that accuracy is also very even here. I don't really know who it has the advantage outside of combo from Z9 against Varvalley.
I mean, you've got to look at this from the point of view. It's, from what I've heard of players this weekend, it's
Crystal
considered a break from Crystal very unusual. You're expected to bring home multiple FCs on a map like this. 3 ways is seen as a near requirement, and those breaks are crucial. You've got to get your recoveries in fast. Both Varvalley and Z9 cannot afford a second drop. Otherwise, they put their teams at severe risk. Crystal having that drop is really unfortunate because of the position it's in. You're looking at maybe 600-700k out of Crystal now with the quarter of the map left, and that is disastrous for China. They need some big breaks from Japan coming in soon.
That big guitar solo session completely unphases anyone. It doesn't touch anybody. Rollpan and TG and Ryoji all still keeping that 3. We're going for Japan. Varvalley with a beautiful recovery, going up to 800 combo. Z numbers as well. That drop from Crystal's the only thing solidifying this lead for Japan. And we're getting into the stage of the map where it's going to become impossible for China to come back. It's starting to climb up to 300,000, and Milk Tea with that drop is going to 100% secure it for Japan. The nail is in the coffin for this double time 1, and Japan are the ones with the hammer. They're going to be taking this double time 1.
Fantastic score from Japan. Really good stuff. 4 million is already in a fantastic DT score, but to take it above that, look at that, 4 S's, not a single miss, just that one unfortunate break for Varvalley on a slider. I mean, that is exactly what they needed to do right at that point. They could not afford another breakpoint for China with the map pool still as open as it is. That is fantastic stuff from Japan. All 99, no issues. There isn't really much to say about the Chinese performance. I think they'll know that they underperformed on that. They knew what they needed to do, so it's best just to move on for the next map, because they're not giving us any other time.
China just immediately saying, you know what, forget that DT1, we're going to go Nomad 4. And not surprised at all, Rolling beat a pretty tame and relaxed Nomad 4 for the majority of the stages. The only times where I'm expecting to see a bit of a difficulty is the tiny ramp up in the Ki and the bridge in the Ki as well. The ending of this map is also pretty difficult, but until that section comes up, it's pretty standard, pretty tame for these players. I'm more expected to see a tragic choke or a break towards the very end where the slider starts to ramp up in velocity, starts to ramp up in difficulty and awkwardness. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to see from both of these teams. It seems like we're going to be seeing a mid-C here for the first time in this bracket stage for China, with Kurumi, Milk Tea, and Crystal, the perfect trifecta for China, helping him out on this Nomad 4. And for Japan, not too sure just yet. They're giving themselves a little bit more time to decide, but it appears to be Konkon Kinikon to be sticking here for Japan.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can cut it a million different ways, but the fact is, both teams have the potential to bring home every map that they put up in this matchup. It's the round of 32. Anything can happen, and Japan are looking for a break point. They are looking for one. They need one. It either has to come now or it has to come in their next map, China's last map pick. That's what they're looking for, and this is one of the maps they could take. they performed very well on qualifiers on Nomad 4. It would be... I think they would also agree that it would be an underperformance if they didn't set a good score here. So let's see if this is the map where things break even. Or do China do what China do?
A big thing to point out about this... Actually, no. Mid-C is not going to be playing here for China. It's in fact going to be David instead. But as you mentioned, Dimash, you're right. Japan in qualifiers outperformed China drastically, and I really do mean drastically, on tech and the Nomad 4. Granted, this is early stage, a lot more capable for this Chinese team, especially considering how good this team is on paper on the tech. But it's going to be Kurumi to be the first player to drop for China. But we've still got plenty of time. It's a very easy part, probably just some warm-up here, maybe just some adjustments. But yeah, there's still a bit of time to build up here before we get into the Ki, where there's a small possibility of a drop. So far, so good here. Japan hold that lead, but Ropan is going to drop. But it is traded by Kurumi. But Kongo Kinikon is gone as well. Hold on. Combat advantage is going to be massively now in favor of China. Flipping the score lead now. Crystal, Milk Tea, and David still holding good. Teacher and Rikuyama, the only two combos for Japan that can try and contest anything here. And there goes David. It's back to even grounds now.
David down, but Rikumi is gone as well. Right at the end. That's so tragic and unfortunate. And that is going to leave Japan in a really nasty spot. Nice little combo builder here for China. They're going to extend that lead just that little bit more. Of course, we do have this incredibly tough tech section coming up. It's the hardest part of the map. So it could all change. If Japan can pull through, they can flip this score in a second. It'll be so quick.
It really has to change soon, though. It's going to have to be one of the full combos here for China. It's going to have to be Milk Tea or Christopher drop in order to Japan to get this through. Here we go. Through. Big stream to come through. David's going to be the first one to drop. It's not the big combo you want for Japan. You're still looking at those big full combos for China to go down if you want Japan to try and even out the playing field. That's a big part that's going to be hit. But Kurumi's going to drop next. We're seeing some small consecutive drops for China. But Kongo Kinokon's down. One of the big recoveries for China, for Japan is gone.
Solid.
And that's it. Solid play from China. Crystal and Milk Tea do not let Japan get past their way.
Yes, crazy good stuff. Again, you know, Japan trailing. They had very, very good scores. Tichi, absolute standout performance there, alongside Crystal. I think it was just a bit unlucky. That second break from Konkon really did some damage for Japan, and made up that difference. But other than that, very, very close. Very, very close. But again, China, so strong. So strong, like you said earlier, on the tech. It's what they're good at, and they did underperform in qualifiers. You can say it. It's quite alright to do.
I mean, yeah. On paper, this Chinese team are so good on tech. They've always been well known for being good on tech. So seeing Japan and I really mean drastically, 628k on their strongest runs is the difference here for Japan. It's pretty ginormous here.
But you can just look at their lowest scores. They're all consistently at that level. You know, it's about hitting the right pattern at the right time. They all had good AC. The difference was China just managed to get that second combo through. That was the big difference maker. So now we're looking at a situation. It's Japan do not have another point that they can afford to drop. They're gonna have to go through the tiebreaker to win this matchup. They've still got a couple of maps that might be good for them, but China only need one. They're gonna have 3 opportunities to win this match going forward. So a mispick from Japan, a strong pick in their back pocket, could also help them achieve victory. But if not, they've still made it to tiebreaker, regardless of what happens. So in terms of what Japan could go for, you know, I don't think it could be that free mod's the way to go for them. There's still 2 of those available, so they could pick the better of the two. I mean, none of the aim maps have really been touched. Has been the thing I've noticed. So maybe they play into that. They are definitely using their whole time here to really, really think about what they want to do. Because they just can't afford to make a mistake at this point.
The Hiddens have also been completely untouched here for Japan. And I'm wondering if that's an intentional choice, maybe to save for the later stage. Japan, despite being very good on the aim and the double time, Hidden is another really valuable strength here, especially when you have someone like Rolpan around, one of the best Hidden reading players in this tournament. One of the better players here for Japan that could single-handedly carry this team onto a Hidden win. But what do you think, Dimash? Do you think Japan are going to be leaning into the Hidden? Do you think they're going to go into aim? What are your thoughts?
Aim seems more likely, if I'm being honest. I don't see any reason for that Hidden pool to get touched at all. There's 2 map picks left. I feel like China might go into free mod in their final pick because they picked it earlier on, but no, it's going to be free mod 1. Free mod 1. I'm wrong today. Free mod 1.
Don't worry, Dimash. We were both wrong. I picked it to Hard Rock. Yeah. I picked it to Hidden. Yeah, it's fine. But at the end of the day, Japan still going into this free mod 1 is exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what mods they're going to go into. I'm expecting to maybe see Varvalion on the Hard Rock. I'm expecting to see Rolpan on the Hidden. In Broken Kong, King Kong, probably either going to overmod or go into the double no mod. I'm probably... Teaching? Do you think Teaching would be on the Hard Rock? I'm thinking potentially. He's played in previous tournaments with the Japanese players. He has done Hidden Hard Rock on free mods before. We might see it. So that's a potential, but I'm 100% expecting Rolpan on the Hidden. I'm 90% expecting Varvalion on the Hard Rock. And on the other side, with China, what do you think, Dimash?
I'm assuming that you're going to have LOL233 probably bringing home the Hard Rock on this one. I think Varvalion on the Hard Rock is a safe bet. Hidden is kind of up to debate on both teams. There's a lot of players who could do Hidden here. I think Z98's coming in for the no mod. Mid-C is making an appearance. But again, I mean, there's also a good chance that Rolpan is going to take the Hidden and you want Tichy on the no mod. Tichy's been playing very well today. So there's Crystal. Crystal could play Hidden. It's hard to judge who's going to take what here, aside from probably the Hard Rocks. I don't see a lot of the Japanese side taking the Hard Rocks here, aside from Varvalion. Especially with Varvalion popping off on that free mod 3. But because this map is so long, there's no guarantees on the Hard Rocks bringing home these the FCs, so the no mod players are the ones that you really want to look for, because the expectation is you've got to bring home an FC at this stage. If we want to stay in this, you've got to bring home FCs. But we will see. A few more seconds and we'll find out what those mods are. Any overmodding at all? None from China.
Let's take a look for China. Crystal with the Hard Rock. Again, that's absolutely no surprise. And Milk Tea on the Hidden Dimash, not on the Hard Rock, is going to be on the Hidden. And for Japan, Varvalion on the Hard Rock and Rolpan on the Hidden. I think we nailed our predictions pretty solidly, I'd say, outside of maybe the Milk Tea Hidden. But this is still super flowy. This is basically what you would expect from your traditional No Mod 2. But not only is this flowing heavy, it's very long. 4 minutes long, 10 seconds, 180 BPM. General flow consistency tests with a few hits of finger control here and there with some 1/3 and minor finger control. Towards the late stages of the map, the difficulty does ramp up, especially in its key eyes as well. But as you mentioned, no mod is going to be really important here, because the longer this map leads, you have to rely on those consistent players who you know can hold on to comfortable combo for as long as possible, the ones who are least likely to miss on nothing, the ones least likely to trip up or struggle from late game nerf. that great name, a great late game. I'm getting tongue twisted here, but yeah, late game stuff. You're gonna really expect a lot from these numbered players, but so far so good for both of these teams. We're not seeing any big drops here, but the combo, no, not the combo, sorry, the accuracy here from Japan is going to keep them in the lead, especially from Volvalion. 99.3 is looking really good, completely outshining Crystal here on the Hard Rock. Big Floem section here doesn't trip up anybody into this next third of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you look, if you can bring home an FC on Hidden with flow aim, that is insane. It looked like Rollpan had broke there, but I held my tongue because it was a Bancho indeed, so there's been no breaks so far. We are nearly halfway through, and everyone is holding really, really strong here. The Hard Rocks are doing work, the Nomads are where they need to be. It's just an accuracy battle so far. I can't believe this is going to continue, but it might. It might. They've done it, they're halfway there. Who's to say they can't do the other half just as well? There isn't really a lot of change from what I remember of this map into the second half. It's a lot of the same.
Shoddy 1/3 aren't going to be tripped up here from anybody. And we're starting to see another big ramp-up stream, very reminiscent of the previous section. That was also quite a bit of a spike here. No drops for either player. No drops from anybody in this lobby. The accuracy from Japan is making them ahead by about 60 to 70,000 points. How is everyone still holding on to Marsh? Tichi still has a full SS, but he drops as soon as
the SS curse. The SS curse
I mentioned is going to lead to the most catastrophic change of this entire map. Finally, a drop from Japan is going to start slowly shifting the lead for China. There's a little bit of room for Japan to keep the trade going. Are we going to see any drops from either player going into the last 20k before trying to get this flip? No, it's decently slow here. Crystal and Lol 233 still holding on.
Keeping it close though. I mean, just look. Yes. The FC. Oh my god. Milk Tea down. Milk Tea. Very little time left. That might just flip it back because Tichi's on the Nomad. And that's a hidden drop. So I can't believe we're looking at this many FCs. Like, come on.
Is anybody going to trade? It's still really close. Hold on. This is really, really close. Last second. No drops. Milk Tea's the only one to have dropped. Japan have secured the flip. Any drop here towards the end could flip it immediately. Japan keep it going towards the jumps. Milk Tea's gone again. And Japan are going to keep themselves in this game. Japan are not done yet. A triple FC. Invoker drops towards the very ending, but it doesn't matter. Rollpan and Volvalion, the two most important modded scores in this map, are going to be the ones to take it and skyrocket Japan. God, what an exhilarating map. Still some brilliant scores from both Z9, Crystal, and Mid-C. God, that was an amazing map. It was so close towards the entirety there. Despite the curse, the bad juju onto Tichi, it was still looking good for Japan. They take it. Dimash, what are your thoughts on their next options here? China are on their next pick now. It's their chance here to secure the victory, finish it off against Japan in what's been a great match so far. What do you think are their next options? There are some ones that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of maybe the free mod 2 or maybe the no mod 1. No, not Nomad 1. No, not Nomad 1. I take that back. What do you think, Dimash? Because I think this is quite tight for China.
China's not going to pick Nomad 1. You're right. 100%. Hidden is like 50-50. Yeah, this is what I was going to say. Hard Rock, if If you look at the ban from Japan, they banned Hard Rock 2. It's understandable to go into this. Oh, sorry, Japan. Sorry, banned Hard Rock 2. Did I say that? It doesn't matter. So it's understandable that China would keep this in their back pocket. I mean, it is, for anyone who knows this map, which should be quite a few of you, you know, it's something you'd kind of farm for aim. It's aim. It's pure aim. Aim consistency. Adding the Hard Rock isn't, or I say shouldn't, change too much for these teams, but I mean, it'd be a tough battle for Japan, but they should feel quite comfortable on something like this. But China are Hard Rock favored. It's a strong pick from China.
Well, you may be right in that regard, but I still see a chance for Japan.
100%.
They had a phenomenal score from Varvalion on the Hard Rock previously, and yes, it was flow aimy, kind of Varvalion's bread and butter. If you know Varvalion in his prime, especially with the solo scores, Hard Rock flow aim was one of his most strong and renowned skill sets. But Hard Rock aim overall is really good for Varvalion. We're probably going to also see Tichi in this as well. But China have Crystal, and that is going to be the biggest threat for this Chinese team. Crystal is one of the best Hard Rock players in the world, and that's not even like a question. He is one of the best Hard Rock players in the world. He is so incredibly threatening on maps like this. So I'm excited for this one. This is going to be quite good. Ryoshi and Rolpan are going to be the last two in here for Japan. Tichi, I'm not surprised about. I already expected him to be on here. But China, two of the Lolols, Crystal and Z9.
Yeah, Milk Tea Crystal, Hard Rock duo, plain and simple. You know, you're probably bringing in all of the big names for China on this. I feel like Z98 is making a much bigger contribution. I'm getting tongue-tied now. Contribution to the Hard Rock and sort of especially aim maps. I mean, it is aim maps, 100%. But we are hitting this hard and fast. Some unfortunate breaks from China could send us to a tiebreaker, and that's the key thing. It is going to require a bit of luck for both sides, really. But the pressure is on Japan because China is going to set a good score here.
You've got several big names to think about here. And into this little streamy build-up section with a few bus sliders, we could see a few drops here and there, but overall, everyone's still looking solid. Big jumps to come through. No major breaks here. This Hard Rock 1, is pretty traditional in its standard Hard Rock aim consistency. Really comfortable, really good BPM, but Rolpan's going to be the first to drop. Big stream section as well here. Multiple opportunities for both of these players to drop, but everyone's looking really good outside of Rolpan, who's dropped once again. Japan struggling from severe fourth player syndrome right now because the accuracies from the rest of their team is really phenomenal. But trying to still hold on to their full combos. There's still a good amount of time left, 3/4 of the map left to go. And especially in this little section here at the end of the Kiai, we could see a big peak here and no drops for China. Still looking good past this first Kiai.
Yeah, they're very good. They're not gaining as fast as they could. Is that from Crystal? Is that just... That's a break from Crystal.
Oh no, that is disastrous. That's your best target player gone.
Not the highest stack though. They've still got Milk Tea.
It's back advantage for Japan though. Rolpan's got a good recovery here. Are the Japanese players going to be able to hold on? Will Rolpan be able to hold on long enough to secure the flip here for Japan? Three of the FCs for each player.
Keep bringing it back. That's bad.
Kurumi!
That's bad. Kurumi down. Kurumi going mental. I know what people are thinking, and I'm not calling him out on it because he's doing very well right now. Roshi will find a break though, so we're still even. We're still even. 2 full combos. Supporting combo from Rolpan and Crystal are building back up. There is nothing in this right now. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, the only thing that's really secured at the moment is that 45,000 score lead here for Japan. It's really, really even here. Those two for combos are going to be so big, but Z9's gone. Another giant combo for Japan. It's gone. Big stream section doesn't trip up anybody. It is Lolo 2-3-3 against the world here. Varvalian and Tichi still looking fantastic. And hold on towards the break. It all comes down to this for Japan. Varvalian and TG have got a hold. Rolpan's recovery is so valuable as long as he keeps it going. And a slow section just before. Nerves are going to start building up.
Nothing to build the nerves better than a slow section before a final KI.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's beautiful.
Streams,
beautiful. Rolpan down. That's not good, actually. I mean, it's okay.
It's not the biggest combo that you want gone. It's still those full combos from both Varvalian and TG is going to be huge. The recoveries from China, though, are decently threatening enough to maybe late stage cause a drop, especially if at least one of the big combos from Japan are going to go down. Big difficulty section down, and Milk Tea, the juggernaut, has been shut down. Japan with Tichi and Varvalian soaring like no other player in this match. Completely shredding on this Hard Rock 1, securing 1 million score, securing the map win for Japan, and securing a tiebreaker.
I'm gonna have fun trying to break this down. Okay, so we are looking at an interesting performance. So we come off the rolling beat, right? And you're thinking, right, China on great form. They've made a solid first pick, and then just Japan. I mean, that is a fantastic performance. Look at the accuracy, right? If you have the MP in front of you, you can see 99 across 4 players. 4 players, 99 Akon. Sorry, I'm on the wrong map. My bad. That's a big oof. That's on me. 100% on me. I do apologize. But still, okay. Start again. 299 acts. We got time. It's tiebreak. Everyone's warming up. 299 acts across Japan. Varvalian and Tichi. Incredible. Varvalian was SSing. He had 4 100s, right? Insane performance. Roshi did incredible work on that solid supporting combo. Rolpan had a great recovery. Rolpan's recovery made the biggest impact, to be honest, because there was 2 full combos going nearly the entire length of that match. China could have easily brought 2 Hard Rocks home. They got unlucky, but still, I don't think they could have won, even with 2 full combos, because that was solid from Japan. Absolutely solid performance.
It's your 2-star Hard Rock players that kept Japan alive, and the Sunrise Kingdom's hopes reinvigorated here. It's up to this TB, and you can see in the player chat 3WC, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a beautiful memory, you would know that in 3-Digit World Cup 2022 semifinals, Japan and China duked it out on a tiebreaker. So there's history with this scoreline and these 2 countries. They've duked it out on TB before. Is this the year that history may change? We'll have to wait and see.
I'm going to be honest.
Is funky, and China won it in 3-Digit World Cup. So,
and I'm going to be honest. Crystal was there. Crystal is still here. Crystal tiebreakers. That's all I'm going to say for China. Crystal tiebreakers. Yep. We've seen it. If you were here last year, you saw it. Yikes. Okay.
Yikes.
Not the one of the out of all the players in the world, Crystal is the one person I would never want to go against on a tiebreaker.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. There are others, but Crystal is one of them. Japan have battled their way year out of year on tiebreakers. They are very good at tiebreakers and maps just like this. And like you said, there's a story behind this. 3WC. China took the win. But just because China's done it before doesn't mean China will do it again. But here we go.
Is it time for some national revenge?
Let's find out.
Will history be rewritten? It's time to find out. We're just giving the map a little bit of extra time to load here.
We've got the time. We've got the time.
We've got the time. We've got the time.
6 minutes of it.
for both of these teams, for China, Crystal, Milk Tea, Kurumi, and David. And on the side of Japan, Invoker, Kinokon, Teachy, and Valiant. It all comes down to this in the round of 32. The fact that we get a match like this so early into the World Cup goes to show how great this tournament is going to be. Let's talk about this TB real quick, Dimash. 6 minutes long, 200 BPM, CS4, AR 9.6. Generally quite control heavy with techie mechanics aspects hit there on top. Ult, mechanics, tech, finger control, aim control. You know it, it's in this map. First quarter and other sections along this are a bit more distinct in it, despite still generally still having that Omni skill set vibe to it. This one being a little bit more on the bursty side, but still having that good mix of skill sets. And later on, we're going to see some more hits, especially more with slide attack and more long streams, finger control, and whatnot.
Ooh.
That map is still yet to come. But going into this early stage of the TB, the early intro section here, David and Kurumi are the only ones to have dropped so far. Kurumi, though, looking good in the recovery. That early drop seemed to have not phased him at all. It is David with that recent drop giving Japan an early 40,000 lead. And accuracy is looking great for Japan. A double SS from both Kinokon and Valiant going into this break. And the lowest act from Japan is also phenomenal. Teachy with 99.5.
But again, China also got great accuracy. Very not far behind. And you can't read too much into the early breaks. I mean, if we were expecting a four-way on the tiebreaker, then maybe. But I don't think we are. Invoker going to be finding drop. So already a little bit of a balance change. Good recovery. You can look at Kurumi's as a near FC. So really you're looking at one drop apiece. And China will claw back score. They have combo right now. Despite only a single break from Japan.
Slowly but surely, China are going to start building back a little bit of a close in here. Kinokon's going to be in next to drop for Japan. That's 100% giving China a good advantage now. Bit of a breakcore section here with a few more bursts and a few more streams than usual here. Doesn't seem to be any drops. The rest of the drops for China are null. Crystal and Milk Tea still holding on to their full combos. Teachy and Valiant, the duo who have done it several times this match, are still going. But there's still a lot of time left. We're just passing this halfway mark. And there's a big stream section here that could lead to a drop if Stamina is unprepared. And Kinokon's dropped once again. China still looking stable.
Yeah, Konkon just unfortunate in their situation. Invoker finding another drop. It's Teachy and Valiant once again. We saw them do this before. But I mean, you're up against China. Are China going to give you the wiggle room? We have seen them chain miss, but I don't think they're going to do it at this stage. They're warm, they're prepared, they're settled into the rhythm, and Invoker just cannot recover right now. He's not getting anywhere. And that is going to be a double drop, though.
That is a ginormous. That is a ginormous double miss there from China. Two of the big combos gone. One of your FCs are gone as well. Is Milk Tea and David to drop? But you still have Crystal and Kurumi with the giant combos, keeping China alive in this. Kinokon and Invoker are going to establish a small recovery lead here. Teachy and Valiant up against Crystal in the full combos, but Kurumi really not far away. Slowly but surely, Japan are going to start building back with this combo advantage, but there's only a quarter of the map left, and Teachy, no! That's such a disastrous drop! The worst time you could possibly go! The nerves had to have gone to him. Maybe it was a tiny misaim, a tiny mistap, no matter what it was. One of the most important combos for Japan are gone! And it's all up to Valiant. But up against two ginormous combos. He's got such a tall mountain to climb. He's been in so many of these situations here for the
Teachy's
Sunrise
upset by
Kingdom,
that.
man.
He's upset by that.
Yeah. I would too.
You would be. You would be. It's understandable, but you've got Crystal, you've got Kurumi. Kurumi with the recovery after the early break, which gave Japan the early lead, but there's no supporting combo now in Japan. I mean, I know Kurumi dropped, but look who is standing in Valiant's way.
The man you
I told you. I told you,
it.
the one person who you would run into on a tiebreaker, Crystal, is doing what Crystal does, and it will be enough to stop Japan proceeding in this winner's bracket.
Crystal, the all-time veteran, one of if not the most legendary players in China, completely nullifying the incoming threat of Varvalion, an equally legendary player from Japan. And with that, Crystal and friends will take Japan down in the tiebreaker. What a phenomenal match, Damage. And you had to have thought reality could have been so different if it wasn't for some of these major breaks from Japan. Of course, I don't want to point it out because I think everyone already knows, but God, what a great match. Such a close tiebreaker. Varvalion with a beautiful FC, evening out Crystal, but Crystal kept him going and gave him a run for his money and kept China in the lead to establish this victory. But Japan 100% down, but not out. They will 100% be coming back in the losers bracket. No way not. And China will take it though. They will advance into the winner's stage. But God, did they have to put up a big fight. Japan were hungry.
So, not to cut this short because I do want to talk about it, but there is a big result going on Romania versus Singapore. Unbelievably, Romania have managed to sneak away with 16,000 score difference on the tiebreaker to win against Singapore, despite an 882,000 score from Emilia. Romania sneak their way through Singapore.
That is heartbreaking for Singapore. Wow. And euphoria for Romania. Pick'ems be damned. Aspirations be cleared. Both of these matches were absolutely crazy. But we are going to be moving into our A stream, I believe. So it is...
I'm just waiting for confirmation on it, that's all.
Yeah, I believe we did get pinged about it earlier, but I'm just making sure... production just got to get clarification that we are going to be switching into the next stage. Yes, we are. So we're going to end it off here on the B stream. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed the match. I know we did. I'm Sad Shiba, joined by the wonderful Damage. Enjoy the A stream. We'll see you soon.